Hello, Johan from SantaFe Shutters here. I often get asked about these skinny windows next to an entrance door. Blinds are not always suitable because they may get blown around in the wind or the cords may get caught in the door. By far the best option for this sort of window is a shutter. Before you can measure, you will need to decide which type of framing to use. With this type of window, it is best to push the shutter back as far as possible. By coming forward, flush with the jamb, you will create a big gap on the side of the shutter. Use your sample panel and the sample frames to work out where the shutter will sit and if the louvers are clearing the glass. If there is a horizontal transom on the window, you need to make sure the louvers are clearing the transom. Now there are different ways to measure and install a shutter for this type of window, but today we'll be looking at a 4-sided L-frame. By using an L-frame, you are creating some clearance between the shutter and the floor and the shutter and the top of the jamb. You don't want the shutter to scrape on the floor or the jamb when you open it. The L-frame is a neat finish for the edge of the shutter on the door side and sits on the vertical mullion between the door and the window. Depending on louver size and jamb depth, you might need to go for a bigger L-frame. On this window, a 46mm L-frame was the perfect depth. Your width measurement should include the L-frame. Keep in mind that the L-frame will be fixed backwards to the vertical mullion. If you are using screws, you will need to allow some clearance so the screws don't hit the glass. Alternatively, you could fix the L-frame to the mullion with high bond exterior double-sided tape. Your height measurement will be from the inside top of the jamb to the floor. You need to check for any quirks or edges on the floor and take that into account when you measure. On this window, there is a small sill in front of the window. The bottom L-frame will sit on top of this. This means my height measurement will be from the top of this sill to the top of the inside of the jamb. The next measurement that you will need to take is the divider rail. This measurement is always from the bottom up. If there is a transom on the window, you can line the divider rail up with this transom. On this window there was no transom, so I used the door handle for my mid-rail height. Let's take a look at installing the shutter. You start by assembling the 4-sided L-frame. I recommend screwing up the miter joints. That helps to close the gaps on the corners and it strengthens the frame. In order to hide any screw heads, it's important to do this from the bottom up and from the top down. For this installation, I'm using high bond exterior double-sided tape to fix the L-frame to the vertical mullion between the door and the window. If you are using double-sided tape, it is important to clean the surface with methylated spirits or alcohol to ensure proper adhesion. Now that we have assembled the frame, let's put it into the opening. Once you're sure of the correct position, you can fix the L-frame into the jamb with screws. You will need to drill pilot holes and countersink the holes. Please use flathead screws so that you can cover the screw heads with white dots. Once the frame has been installed, you can hang the panel and insert the hinge pins. Make sure the panel is opening and closing properly and that the louvers are clearing the glass. And there you have it, a beautiful solution for a beautiful window. I hope this video helps, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact SantaFe Shutters and Blinds.